Hello everyone, welcome back to the A through Z playthrough. In today's video we have landed on Amazing Daniel himself, King of the Dunk, Lord of the Hoop. I don't know where I'm going with this. Azmodan was added into the game on October 7th, 2014. There was a really big Diablo event that also added Johanna and Leoric to the game as well. His current win rate is 51.8%, and his popularity, I thought this was crazy. 61.8%. There's a chance you're going to play with one or be banned in 61% of games. That's nuts. Back in 2018, when we did the last A through Z playthrough, Azmodan was actually the #1 most banned hero. That's because it was right around the time that his new rework, his current playstyle, was added into the game. But right now, he's still the 4th most banned hero, just behind Zagara, who's ridiculous right now, Vala, who's ridiculous right now, and Brightwing, who you guessed it, is ridiculous right now. I've always really enjoyed Azmodan. He's super duper fun to play. And over time in the game, my love for macro, for controlling the map, has just grown and grown and grown. And Azmodan is an excellent character at doing just that. There's basically 2 schools of thought with his builds right now. You either go for gluttony at level 1 and then build into a very dunk focused setup at level 7, 16, and 20, or you commit to full siege damage, get greed at level 1, and then at 7, 13, 16, and 20, you just go in on the laser. I've never really preferred this playstyle, and I don't really like the pure dunking playstyle. Auto attack Azmodan is super fun, and it's what I'm probably going to try to showcase today. So I decided I wanted to re-record my Azmodan video. I did manage to save the intro, but the game came after about 6.5 hours of quick match. And I mean, I was trying to be upbeat and positive, but it was just such a mess. Like, the game had no rhyme or reason. I barely had any stacks. So we're going to try to record this again. However, as we're loading in, the enemy team does have a Cho'Gall. So once again, who knows what to expect? The Butcher doesn't get double meat for killing Cho'Gall, right? That seems busted. Counterpicked. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves in the Sky Temple today. The friendly team, Azmodan, Muradin, the Butcher, Alarak, and Lunara. The enemy team, Mephisto, Jaina, Nazebo, and Cho'Gall. At this point in the game, I need to make a choice. I'm gonna cough, excuse me. Do I want to go for an auto attack style build versus this team? Probably not. That's better when they have double front line and sustain, so you can actually continue to auto attack the people in front. So that takes my favorite build out of the equation right away. But then, of course, we could go for gluttony at level 1, increases our globe damage when we're hitting heroes. That certainly could be good. But I think instead, what I'm going to do is play a build I've never played before, because that makes a lot of sense. There's always been 2 kind of main play styles for Azmodan, just generally speaking. You have the laser build, and you have the dunk build. Today, we're going to lean hard into the laser build. I actually haven't played it before. Back in the day, Azmodan's laser build was ridiculous. Kind of like Gul'dan's Drain Life setup that he has right now, where Azmodan could pretty much indefinitely channel his laser on top of a target until they just died. I believe he also got a movement speed increase while he did it. It was actually insane. It was not the proper way, I mean the popular, excuse me, or the proper for that matter, way to play. But if you had a quick match situation like this where the enemy team does not have interrupts, well then there's nothing they can do about it. You just sit there and channel and there's nothing that they could do about it. The friendly team rotating down here, so we're going to rotate up. Back in the day, when Azmodan was added into the game, it came at about the same time as Leoric and Johanna. Actually, it was a really big Diablo-centered event that happened, where all these guys were added into the game. And all of those characters I just mentioned were able to clear waves super duper effectively, like better than just about anyone else in the game at the time. And because of that, Blizzard actually had to make a distinction to change the different monster types in the game. Previously, it was only minions and mercenary camps. But because Azmodan, Johanna, and Leoric could basically make every minion die instantly, they had to add in this thing called monsters. So if you're ever doing an objective, let's say on Infernal Shrines, the enemies that you're fighting on the shrines are classified as monsters. Azmodan used to be able to get dunk stacks off of those. His dunks have changed quite a bit. Previously, you only got stacks on your annihilation when you last hit a minion with your dunk, and that was it. That was the only way to do it. That was how it happened. Now you can actually get stacks on heroes as they move up. There are builds that are focused on really dishing out a ton of damage to heroes with your dunks that are quite good. Speaking of, our team annihilated that. I'm actually going to stay down here and continue to push. That's kind of the point of this Azmodan build and why I wanted to play it in this game, because I think we actually have a pretty good use case for it here. This build gets ahead on XP and should stay ahead on XP throughout the majority of the game. I'm not really looking at increasing my dunk power by last hitting minions, although if the Butcher worked with me a little bit better there, we could have. What I'm here to do is finish off their structures while they're distracted somewhere else. One of the best strategies for actually just beating a Cho'Gall is staying ahead of them on XP. That's it. If they get behind on levels, they can really have a difficult time getting momentum. Now, our team might be a little too split here. We are going to go for Master of Destruction. If All Shall Burn channel kills its target or lasts its full duration, it explodes at the end, and we get Annihilation at the end. I actually didn't know that. There used to be a skill, I believe it was at level 7, where you can increase the speed of your dunk quite substantially, so it would travel through the air much faster. However, it meant you had to learn like 2 different timings for your abilities. You had to learn the early game dunk speed, and then you had to learn the late game dunk speed. All of that is gone. It's exactly the same no matter which talents you pick. However, at level 1, you can kind of decide what kind of dunk you want to focus on. And I think that's a pretty cool concept. Notice that while the objective was going on, we just took this building for free. This is my perception of how Laser Azmodan is played. And so far, it's working all right. It's working pretty good. The friendly team's sitting at level 9 to the enemy team's 7. I'm going to finish off these walls. Someone is responding to this. Let's just land some dunks on him. Free stacks if he walks into it. Excuse me. I'm under the weather right now. I've been to the doctor's office twice in like 8 days for 2 different things. I'm not having a good time. Not having a good time, but we're on the up and up. Let's see if we can continue to push in versus Nazebo. The enemy's Cho'Gall not showing anywhere on the map, and I don't really know what that means. We have, oh, here he is. We of course have our trait as well, which summons in a general around the map. We can use this for global presence. So before I die down here from them diving me and completely giving up this objective to my team for free, you may think that was a stupid death, but we literally lured 4 people of the enemy team down to the bottom lane during an objective. Where's the real value there? They got a little bit of XP. We got a top building. You know what I'm saying? We got catapults for the rest of the game up top. Sorry. Let's go over all of our abilities one after the other and not just talk about the trait. I'm sorry, I'm a little helter-skelter today. Our Q ability, Globe of Annihilation. This sends out the dunk. This is a big focus for the other Azmodan build. When the dunk lands, it does damage. If a minion dies, we get extra Annihilation, increasing the damage of our next dunk. The enemy team might actually be on boss. They were just now backing up. Our W ability is Summon Demon Warrior. This summons in little dudes that help you push lanes down. They can deal some melee damage in combat. And this build does take the additional Demon Warrior just to give you more siege potential versus the enemy team. Let's put our trait up top. There used to be some... Actually, I was going to talk about the trait. I was going to talk about the demons and all. I was going to say there used to be some fun stuff you could do with the demons, but then literally nothing came to mind. I couldn't think of anything. Our E ability, of course, we've been talking about nonstop, but this is the ultimate we went for. It summons a bunch of minions in, around, a building in most cases, is what you're going to be using it for. And then they pretty much immediately kill the building. This is my perception of Azmodan with this setup. You literally just go siege when the enemy team is preoccupied, and you take ground across the map over and over and over again. This enemy team is not focusing on macro at all, and that's my entire focus. So unfortunately for them, they're about to run out of some buildings over here. Our trait does spawn the demon lieutenant that we can put anywhere that we choose. You basically summon in next to another minion, and then they show up to help out. This is on a 1-minute cooldown, I think. You used to be able to do some fun stuff with this, like promote, which I still think you might be able to do. Yeah, just stay on this. That's fine. See you later. But if you summoned in your demon on a minion, it would full heal the minion that you summoned them in on. So there used to be some kind of fun cheeses with that, where you would use it on merc camps and fill them back up to full health and effectively promote them, doubling their effectiveness at the same time. There was some real fun nuance with it back in the day that I don't believe exists anymore. Although he can empower enemies nearby, they're not getting that full heal anymore. We're going to go for Sadea's Kiss, reduces all shell burns channel time, and the final damage heals. So this is when we want to start to trade into our enemies a bit more as we continue to just push out the entire map, and no one's going to be able to stop us. Let's dunk here. Actually, we could go to this team fight potentially. The shrine's already over, so they kind of already won what they were going to be fighting over. So let's just move in here. I'm actually going to spawn the general. The general also used to soak all XP in the lane that he was summoned in, but after the changes with XP globes, that's really no longer the case anymore. If he gets the last hit on those enemies, then he will get some XP, but the demon himself can't pick up any balls or anything like that. That's not a function he can do. What you may not remember is that Tide of Sin is actually technically a new heroic ability for Azmodan. Tide of Sin replaced, I think it was Dark Pool. And what Dark Pool did, here, let's just like summon in stuff and then walk in. What Dark Pool did was increase all of your ability power for, you know, a certain amount of time. Whereas our current Tide of Sin, all it does is increase the damage of your next dunk. And again, the enemy chasing me top lane, what does our team do? They get a free boss in the bottom lane. This is actually premier macro play right now. And I'm not even being sarcastic. You might think I'm joking. Look at how much we're opening up on the map just by being constantly pressuring lanes. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. There is a baseline quest for Azmodan. I believe all of these, once you get 200 Annihilation, another effect happens. For the one that we have now, after 200 Annihilation, increase the range of all shall burn by 25%, and Demon Warriors gain 20% attack speed. So our E and W gain benefits once we finish off this quest. However, bottom lane isn't looking too good. Boss is on the enemy team's core. Cho'Gall is going to manage to get away. Looks like the team is going to be backing off here soon. Let's go ahead and put another demon up top. Let's see, fun facts off the top of my head. Johanna and Azmodan were literally inseparable when they were added into the game, because the only way for us to gain Annihilation previously was last hitting minions. Johanna could group up all the minions in her lane, and by using Knight Takes Pawn, which is in her kit by default now, you could kill lanes literally in the blink of an eye. These two together were so incredible. He also has one of the biggest hitboxes in the game, rivaling that of Cho'Gall, Deathwing, and Stitches, who also have some pretty chunky ones. The objective's up. It's been up for a while. Looks like Alarak's having some fun down at the bottom. Oh, no. That's not what I was expecting to look down there and see. I gotta be honest. That's not what I was expecting. If Lunara can hold this, I can dunk this lane and push it into towers a little bit faster, which is exactly what I think I'm gonna do. Save some of those shots for another building. In fact, we might be able to just take another building. Is this a thing? Let's summon in my ult, channel the beam. I mean, even if I don't kill it, we're still getting like... Oh my god, Lunara's building shot it. I'm not kidding when I probably practiced 10 games on Azmodan, and I'm really not kidding when I'm saying this is the first time I've played this. I thought if I wanted to change a pace, if I wanted to change a move after that last clusterfuck that I was in with this character, I should do something kind of off the wall. And the stars aligned a little bit for that. The friendly team level 19 to the enemy team 16. I'm getting ulted, boys. Let's see if I can channel onto the enemy team's Cho'Gall right now. Boom! Jane on the back line. The dunk does land. Although, we're not going to be dealing a ton of damage with the dunk. Finishing people off with the laser is pretty fun. Actually, if he comes back in range, he could probably beat me. Maybe that's a trade I don't want to do. What we can do is push the top lane down, get some free annihilation off those guys, and even though I didn't kill the minions, we still at least have the lane moving in a better direction. We can trade up top to keep that moving in. Ideally, if I went for the promote talent, we would be promoting catapults because we want them to deal more damage. Course looking pretty open. Cho'Gall respawning in 3 seconds. Lunara down for the friendly team. Alarak recalling. So let's do this. Sin's Grasp on All Shall Burn. Oh, does it summon a little demon at the end? On All Shall Burn, heroes by 50%. If All Shall Burn channels this full duration or kills enemy heroes, cooldowns reset, reduced by 50, and the target slowed by some percent. Where am I getting the demon from? That's kind of fun. Oh, Hell Rift. So I could summon even more little dudes. The enemy team is retaking a little bit of ground in the bottom lane. Jaina's by herself, so let's see if we can get a kill here. She does move out of my range. That's her ult. She immuned the channel. Oh, I'm gonna have to general here. I'm gonna have to drop all the minions here. My bad. Just walking in to see what I can live through. Smile. How do you look at this Azmodan smile and get mad? I really don't know the limits of this build, and whenever you're playing something for the first time, limit testing is pretty important. You need to just know what you can go die to. However, we did know the enemy team was pretty grouped up over there. I didn't know Jaina had Ice Block already, but I probably should have assumed that. Alarak for the friendly team, getting hit by all kinds of balls, spiders, the enemy diving the central tower, and they are going to take him down. You may be looking at some of this and being concerned. However, I have no anxiety in my body at all right now. If there's one thing Azmodan is good at, it's just delaying games forever. I would say the only other character that comes close, I mean, maybe two, Abathur and Ragnaros with Lava Wave, can just keep a situation going for a really long time. We are going to trait up top as we're moving towards our team. Fun fact, this used to dismount you. You couldn't do it while you were traveling around. That's a nice quality of life change for sure. Looks like Nazebo, the only one on point. We're going to dunk him for 500 damage. I'm also going to, like, poke in here a little bit. See if I could take over at least a few shots, although it looks like it is already over. Nazebo moving up. That dunk does miss by a little tiny bit. The enemy team's going to be forced to fall back because their core is exposed. I mean, I kind of want to fight. I think he's doing the right thing. Maybe not that far away, though. We are going to see the Butcher committing pretty hard here. Jaina emerging from the shadows as well, using that ult of hers. There's the dunk. It does not hit, but that means Ice Block is on cooldown, and my laser will hit her plenty hard enough. However, do we want to get super involved in this? Oh, good silence! Is going to secure yet another kill for the friendly team. We're going to trait up top as soon as I can. Keep that pushing. The enemy team's Cho'Gall is ulting, however. Oh, fuck. Our laser was... Oh, it's already back off cooldown. That full channel shit is no joke. That's no joke at all. We are walking right up to the enemy team's core. If I full channel on a building, does it come back that quick? No, it's only on heroes. It's only on heroes. Any other fun facts for Azmodan? He has skins dedicated to the old Heroes of the Dorm tournaments that Blizzard used to do. It was a collegiate tournament where different schools could compete for a chance to win a scholarship for their team for the rest of their career, their college career, which is a pretty fucking cool idea. I really, really like that. To commemorate it, we do have the Azmodan skin equipped right now. Those were good times. I really enjoyed going to those tournaments. Honestly, I may have been more hyped for Heroes of the Dorm than I was for HGC in person, because in HGC, you know, most of the time they're just paying playing for a paycheck, whereas the Heroes of the Dorm, it was like their entire life is ahead of them, and they're setting themselves up for that. And I don't know, I just thought that was really cool. So a build I've never played before. This is appropriate though, because the top 3 win rate builds for Azmodan right now are all different variations of this laser focused build. We went for Greed, which I should have finished, into Army of Hell, Master of Destruction, Demonic Invasion, Sedea's Kiss, Hell Rift, and Sen's Grasp. Fun match. My entire goal was to stay ahead on XP, and we outsoaked every other person in this game, and actually did a decent amount of hero damage too, all things considered, which I was not expecting. I was not expecting that at all. If you want to look at some different variations for Azmodan, we have some really good auto attack builds on the channel already. If you wanted to go for a more dunk focus, Gluttony into Army of Hell, Art of Chaos, Tide of Sin, Chain of Command, Total Annihilation, and Pride. There's some real fun talents in here, like Trample on a 20-second cooldown, that you might want to consider too, because Azmodan has a really big hitbox and no escapes of his own other than this talent. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know the format was a little weird, and like I said, I'm already out of it. I was stumbling over words in the beginning, but I hope it was an enjoyable experience nonetheless. If you have any fun Azmodan anecdotes, fun facts, anything like that you want to share down in the comments below, I would love to read them. I do check them every time we post a video. Thank you guys so much for being here. Blaze is already recorded, and if you enjoyed this PvE nonsense, you might enjoy the Blaze video too. Spoiler!